Come along with me. Use a black iron key to open the gate, and you might just survive this wild monster apocalypse. While others scrap for keys, our main character casually tosses his straight into the blazing furnace, along with his only bread. People laughed and called him a total fool, but what they completely missed, that crazy move is his ultimate ticket to ruling this brutal new world. Just moments ago, sheer agony tore right through him. His eyes snap open. A rough wooden floor sits underneath. Red foam pours from his mouth, his battered body completely covered in severe combat injuries and marks. As an elite international mercenary, his mission was rescuing a major corporate executive over in northern Myanmar. That flawless operation? A total setup. Even after taking down the traitors with his absolute best skills, his energy was already fading fast into nothing. He forces himself upright, totally confused, and quickly scans the strange surroundings. It is a tiny wooden cabin, under 100 square feet, with one door. Looking out the window reveals a barren patch of ground, maybe 300 square feet. Right at the edge hovers a faintly glowing gateway. Beyond it lies absolutely pure, endless nothingness. Absolute endless void. Zero shapes, zero light. Before he can look closer, extreme pain makes him flinch. The harsh red foam makes him choke hard. He genuinely feels his entire life force slipping away forever. But the very next second, a massive voice echoes inside his mind, and across the minds of all 8 billion people worldwide. Deployment of all 8 billion humans on Blue Star complete. Individual physical functions have been reset to initial form. Welcome to the Crucible of Worlds. Infinite survival. Pay close attention to these rules. They are your absolute key to surviving. Watch closely now. A blue panel pops up. Rule 1 drops. The safe house is the absolute cornerstone of your entire survival journey. Cherish it and keep upgrading constantly. A quick hint. Safe houses come in entirely different types. Rule 2. Leaving the 300-foot radius of your safe house at any time means instant game over. If a safe house falls, its owner vanishes too. Rule 3. The Crucible features countless shattered world lattices. You can enter these instance lattices through special gateways to explore. Instances refresh weekly. They are your only resource source. Always watch that extraction timer carefully. Rule 4. The Purgatory battlefield descends periodically. All safe houses will be forcibly deployed to defend against massive monster waves. Survive, and you earn scores plus rewards. Rule 5. The Universal Survival System is now activated. Blue Star survivors, struggle on. The announcement ends, and the world goes totally silent. Was that booming voice just a crazy hallucination? But he knows it is totally real. His battered body is rapidly healing right back to 100% full health. He clenches his fist. He feels incredibly powerful. With a single thought, a blue holographic screen unfolds. Across the top are several tabs. World Channel, Regional Channel, Trade Market, Player Profile, and Safe House. He taps the World Channel first, and the screen instantly floods with chaotic survivor messages. Man, I am at an Antarctic research station. Why this crappy wooden hut? Haha, my safe house is a massive stone fortress. Can you believe this guy? Starting durability, 500. Get ready to be ripped apart. What are you bragging about? I got an elemental spire boasting natural fire affinity. Anything coming close gets completely torched to ash. Anyone open a chest yet? I got a black iron fire axe and a loaf of bread. At least I feel slightly safer now. He scans through quickly, filtering out the useless ranting. He only searches for key information regarding special safe houses, chests, and black iron items. He remembers the system mentioning this. He exits that noisy World Channel and notices a small info icon. Tapping it, sure enough, reveals the exact rules from the initial broadcast. Plus, it fully explains the item tier system, ranked directly as black, iron, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, starshine, lunar, and solar. 9 tiers total. Opening the safe house panel, a line of fresh information clearly displays right before his eyes. Safe house, Omni Cabin. Level 1, Durability 100, Defense 5. Energy Reserve not activated. Please install an energy module first. Installed modules, none. Upgrade conditions, system blueprint not unlocked. Safe house not yet bound. Bind to Omni Cabin? His eyes widen, and a confident smirk instinctively appears. He actually scored a special safe house. He binds it immediately. The exact instant that command hits, a hexagonal crystal shoots out and dives straight into his chest. Watch this closely with me. The Omni Cube springs right from his chest, radiating infinite potential. His full attention locks perfectly onto this dark treasure. As his fingertip touches the cold surface, information floods his mind, and a brand new interface completely unfolds deep inside his awakened consciousness. Omni Cube. Level 1. Synthesis slots 2 halves. Synthesis rules. Rule 1. Level N cube can craft items up to tier N+1. Rule 2. Everything follows the basic laws of matter shifting and energy balance. Just drop materials into start. Rule 3. Crafting takes time, but adding pure energy speeds things up. Rule 4. Following these conditions, absolutely anything can be created. Limitless possibilities. Let's dive in. You and I are about to see an outrageously broken power. With enough materials, he can literally craft anything. With this ability alone, those fancy safe zones mean completely nothing. He can easily build exact copies, as long as he gathers enough materials. Taking a deep breath, he instantly starts analyzing everything. The limits are obvious. 2 crafting slots and a level 1 cube mean bronze tier is the max. But the future potential? Absolutely off the charts. If he upgrades that cube, unlocking higher tier gear, healing potions, and rare blueprints becomes totally possible. Pushing down his insane hype, he realizes there are still more menus to explore. He pulls up the player stats next. Name, Jensen. Rank, unranked. His stats, 7 strength, 8 constitution, 6 agility, and 8 intelligence. For a blue star human, that is seriously above average fighting potential. 0 skills, bloodline, gear, or titles. Combat rating, peak human condition. Suddenly, that massive, booming voice echoes right inside his head again. Survivor Jensen has grasped the world rules, distributing the starting survival pack. The second the voice stops, a dark chest slams onto the ground right in front of him. Wasting 0 time, he excitedly throws it open. Inside are 3 chunks of dark bread, 3 water bottles, a totally soaked, ruined-looking wooden flintlock pistol, a chunk of crimson ore, shining with bright golden light, and a dark iron key, giving off a faint white glow. Dark bread times 3, clean water times 3, and that rusted dark iron flintlock. If he is extremely lucky, it might shoot once. Dark iron material, crimson cloud iron times 1, plus 1 basic tier 1 dungeon key. Classic starter gear, all basic dark iron level, but it feels uniquely terrible. Even though it is technically a gun, the system hints there is almost 0 chance of it actually working. You and I both know taking this junk inside is exactly like going empty-handed. Ignoring the basic snacks, he immediately grabs that ruined wooden flintlock pistol along with the glowing crimson cloud iron. Just by thinking about it, the 2 crafting slots on his cube start glowing. He drops the pistol on the left side and the crimson cloud iron on the right. Glowing holograms of both items pop up inside the slots, and that gray crafting button right in the middle finally lights up brilliantly. His mind suddenly races. 2 basic iron materials can create up to a bronze level weapon. He stops hesitating. With 1 quick mental command, he hits the button. Craft it. The floating materials instantly break apart, turning into twin streams of pure energy that swirl, crash together, and rebuild in the center. A completely new weapon outline slowly forms inside that glowing bronze light. Crafting now. Estimated time, 5 minutes. A timer pops up right below the bar. 5 minutes is nothing. He can definitely wait, making this the perfect moment to gather some clues. He opens up the regional chat menu. Unlike the global chat, where useless messages fly by way too fast, This regional zone is clearly packed with much better, solid information. Region chat. One player already vanished. You saw that too, right? Someone was eliminated instantly. The chat log never stops, and panicked survivors are sharing whatever useful details they can. Anyone have a key? Mine is basic black. I dare not use it. Same here. My chest only gave me a tiny dark iron blade. It looks like a butter knife. Going in is game over. Quit complaining. Fortune favors the brave players. I pulled a dark iron longsword from my starter pack. If I do not take the risk now, I am going to starve anyway. Watch this, guys. I'm going in first. I will be back with massive loot. A player named Swordsman Sebastian types with serious confidence. After sending that message, his profile icon stays dark. At first, nobody even notices the glaring problem. 10 minutes go by, then 20, and that massive survival counter in the top corner of the screen quietly ticks down again. The survival count drops again. Another player eliminated. The entire chat instantly falls into complete silence. The loud chatter from a second ago vanishes. Wait, what about Swordsman Sebastian? Why is he totally quiet? Impossible. Sebastian started with a decent longsword. Was he defeated that incredibly fast? What kind of absolute nightmare is this dungeon, anyway? Or maybe, just maybe, once you step inside the dungeon, the system blocks you from posting in the regional chat? That guess gives everyone a tiny spark of hope. But reality is brutal. The active player count suddenly drops again. 5 more players vanish in the blink of an eye. That massive drop sends an icy chill straight through the remaining survivors. Stay focused. What do you and I take from this? Huge elimination rates are the new normal. Stick with me here. If this were just simple resource gathering, it wouldn't be the prelude to the epic purgatory battlefield. Remember, system rules guarantee facing massive monster waves. Right then, the Omni Cube softly pulses. The synthesis is finally complete. Congratulations, you just scored a bronze tier item. Deadwood Tactical Desert Eagle. Bronze light swirls, revealing a weapon our guy knows perfectly in the synthesis slot. It is a Desert Eagle, but definitely not sporting that normal shiny silver finish. Instead, the surface looks exactly like wood, yet feels completely solid and totally metallic. He pulls it from the glowing screen, feeling that heavy weight settle right into his palm. It is super dark, covered in cool carved patterns, and packed with texture. Deadwood Tactical Desert Eagle, Bronze Tier Level 2. Effect 1 is Auto Reload, replenishing 1 round per minute. Magazine capacity, 7 rounds. He examines the Desert Eagle, turning it side to side, totally unable to hide his massive grin. Now, this is what you call a real weapon. Compared to this, that soggy wooden flintlock pistol from the starter pack is utter trash. He checks the regional channel, where pure panic is blowing up the chat. Players are crying they will never leave safe houses, absolutely refusing to step anywhere at all. Just ration your food and water to survive. Going into an instance is pure madness. He just stares at those comments with total chill. Those cowards are basically eliminated already. You and I both see it, right? Fear eliminated them. No matter their stash, it lasts only days. And outside is nothing but endless void. To survive, you have to hit the instance. He ignores all that whining and turns his focus right back to his remaining stash. Without stalling, he tosses 1 loaf and 1 bottle straight into the Omni Cube synthesis slot. Synthesizing now. Estimated time, 1 minute. Synthesis is complete. Congrats, you scored 1 consumable high-energy nutrient gel. A cool test tube filled with glowing pale blue liquid suddenly pops up. High-energy nutrient gel, consumable type. The effect? Drinking it fully replenishes daily water, energy, and nutrition. Plus, it rapidly restores a nice chunk of stamina. He then spends another 2 minutes transforming all his leftover food and water into these nutrient gels. 3 of these vials are totally enough to fuel 3 days of intense combat. Weapon? Check. Supplies? Ready. He stands tall and walks over to that faintly glowing portal just hovering near the open ground. He pulls out that special black iron key from his starter pack. He thought about synthesizing keys, but honestly, none of his materials seemed to match up with it. So, he skips hesitating and uses it directly. The key transforms into a bright streak of light, vanishing into the gateway. Instantly, the faint portal flares brilliantly. The inside twists and shifts, finally forming a swirling vortex that reveals a completely ruined city street. Right then, the cold system announces, instance unlocked. Instance type is world fragment. Sweep and withdraw mode is active. Tier 1 instance, abandoned commercial street. Player count is 10 out of 10. Extraction mission is to collect 5 black iron items and 1 bronze tier piece. Extraction time, 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Extraction points auto mark upon completion. Now watch closely here. Failing inside this instance actually means permanent game over in reality. Proceed with caution. His eyes sweep past the data, getting totally locked on the words. Abandoned commercial street. He knows urban battlegrounds perfectly. Taking a step forward, he glances around, noticing an absolutely foul, unexplainable stench in the air. He finds himself standing right mid-street, and every single shop on both sides is completely gutted to bare frames. Windows are shattered, cobwebs hang everywhere, and super disturbing dark stains streak the walls. Several rusted old cars sit awkwardly with flat tires and heavily cratered frames. Insanely, one vehicle has a gigantic hole punched straight through its middle, clearly crushed by something incredibly violent. His eyes scan the zone, quickly analyzing where to take cover, spotting the high ground, and figuring out exactly where threats might strike from. He has 24 hours to finish this wild mission. Grabbing 5 black iron items plus 1 shiny bronze piece. Wander aimlessly on these streets is just foolish and inefficient. He definitely needs a spot stuffed with loot. His eyes lock onto a massive structure sitting right at the corner, a huge shopping complex. Its exterior walls are heavily battered, faded paint peeling off the billboards, sure, but a mall always holds major supplies inside. In a survival situation like this, such a massive spot offers massive rewards, but obviously huge risks too. After just a quick second of thinking, he makes a choice. Instead of wasting time digging through those already empty storefronts, he decides to roll the dice and hit the main mall. He desperately needs real supplies. He has to beat this wild mission, making sure absolutely every single minute counts. 24 hours feels long, but trust me, we know what FLIs by when you are busy hunting mission materials and then desperately scrambling for that final extraction. Stick with me here, because getting out alive is always the absolute hardest part. Gripping the Desert Eagle tight, I stay low. Using those wrecked cars as cover, I sprint fast and completely silent straight toward the ruined mall entrance. Footsteps light, movements sharp. My instincts are fully dialed in from countless do or die survival runs. The mall's glass revolving door is totally shattered, leaving this huge, pitch black, gaping entrance. I freeze in the shadows by the door, tilting my head, listening hard. Inside, just the quiet whisper of the wind. No way. I'm rushing in blindly, waiting for my eyes to adjust. I finally slip inside like a ghost. Instantly, this heavy, disgusting wave of mold and rot hits my face. The first floor lobby is absolute chaos. Smashed jewelry counters, toppled cosmetic displays, and products just scattered everywhere. I don't stop moving. Survival logic dictates the massive supermarkets are always underground. That is exactly where the canned goods, tools, and packaged food will be waiting. Soon enough, I spot the down escalator. It stopped working ages ago, completely coated in heavy dust, looking like a massive gray slide. Creeping down, keep my Desert Eagle aimed straight into the dark, totally ready for an ambush. The metal gate guarding the lower supermarket is wrecked, ripped wide open by some crazy, tremendous force, and twisted into a tangled iron mess. Inside is pure destruction. Collapsed shelves, rotten items leaking mysterious dark fluid, and torn packaging everywhere. I completely ignore the spoiled junk food. We are after sealed industrial gear or anything. The system ranks as black iron tier. Let's see what we find. I push straight past the ruined snack aisles, heading right for the outdoor gear section. Almost instantly, I spot a massive bag of vacuum-sealed rice pinned under a broken shelf, plus a few cases of canned meat nearby. They won't clear my objective, but they equal survival. Right as I grab them, a flash of dark blue suddenly catches my eye. It is a heavy-duty outdoor trekking pack. Thick fabric, super sturdy, and infinitely better than the makeshift trash bundle I planned on using. I walk over, lift it up, and dust it off. It feels perfectly heavy, with completely intact straps and a solid frame. Right then, a glowing line of system text pops up before my eyes. Black iron heavy trekking pack. Massive capacity, ultra durable, and distributes weight perfectly. Honestly, I never expected to score my very first black iron item this incredibly fast. I quickly stuffed the canned meat and several water bottles right inside. With a pack like this, my looting efficiency is gonna skyrocket. Pushing deeper into the store, I find some brand new wrenches in the tool aisle, but the system gives me absolutely zero reaction. The tier requirements are seriously strict. I am about to walk away when a metal toolbox pinned under the collapsed shelf grabs my attention. It is badly dented, but the lock is shut tight. Crouching down, I jam a wrench right into the latch gap and pry hard. Pop! The lid flies open. Zero tools inside. Just a folded blue blueprint with edges glowing in a very faint, magical bronze halo. Congratulations, you have discovered a bronze blueprint. The Simple Combustion Furnace Module. Simple Combustion Furnace, Bronze Tier Status. Type, Safe House Facility Module Upgrade. Once installed, your base gains basic energy conversion. It turns burning wood and scrap materials into pure power, instantly providing essential heat and cooking functions. A bronze tier item. Can you believe this? We just cleared the hardest mission objective. Snagging a super rare safe house blueprint right off the bat. Looks like my luck is insanely good. I cannot help but smirk. As long as I make it out alive, my cabin gets a real energy core. Finally, can actually cook hot food. I quickly stash the shiny new blueprint away, feeling way more confident. Now, I just need to hunt down 4 more black iron tier items. Moving fast, I score a black iron flashlight in a firebox, and an opened black iron knife set in cookware, and finally, a black iron medical kit in a back storage room. Backpack, flashlight, knives, medical kit. That is 4 black iron items down, only 1 left to go. Rocking the heavy trekking pack, I leave the basement and head straight back up to the mall's main lobby. This supermarket is totally tapped out. Time to go check the upper floors. Suddenly, a terrifying scream echoes from the second floor. The voice cracks with absolute panic, then abruptly cuts to silence, like someone crushed their throat. Boom! Massive footsteps echo out, shaking the ground. It literally sounds like an elephant stomping upstairs, making the entire ruined mall groan and creak. The monster is heading downstairs right now. My survival instincts completely take over. I slide hard behind a wrecked jewelry counter, curling deep into the pitch-black shadows, forcing my racing heartbeat and breathing to slow way down. A second later, a terrified guy in a blue tracksuit comes tumbling violently down the second floor, escalator on all fours. His face is completely ghost white, scrambling forward while looking back like some absolute nightmare is hunting him. Spotting the exit, he sprints, but a massive shadow leaps down faster. That is where we leave it. Trust me, you want to see what happens next. You and I are jumping right into the action. Boom! A shadow smashes down, totally shattering the hall's marble floor. It is an 8-foot monster, totally bloated and super gross, with pale skin and pulsing dark crimson muscles. Plus, those giant arms are insanely thick. Its hands twist into sharp claws, flashing a super creepy icy glow. Its face is absolutely revolting. A gigantic mouth splits ear to ear, packed with nasty fangs. Toxic drool hits the ground, hissing and popping with crazy clouds of white smoke. Our guy just stares. This right here is a pure muscle mutant. Way scarier than any regular zombie. Think of a classic gaming boss, but way worse. The monster suddenly roars loudly. its back legs flex hard, launching that giant body forward like pure lightning. It catches a fleeing guy instantly. Oh no! He barely gets one word out before that giant claw tears his whole body apart, making an absolute, unbelievable mess everywhere. Across the cold floor, hiding behind the counter, he watches calmly. Zero fear here. His amazing brain is purely analyzing. The beast just tosses the guy right into its mouth. The loud crunching sounds echo so clearly through this super quiet, totally abandoned shopping mall. After that nasty snack, the giant beast looks up and sniffs the air. It stays. Instead, it starts pacing the ground floor with massive, heavy steps. Suddenly, a super chilly voice totally echoes in his head. Instance alert. The big boss is active. Meet Tyrant Butcher. Boss battle notice. Taking down this big guy for the first time guarantees a special chest. You get a 100% drop for bronze materials, plus sweet rare bonus loot. Extra perk. The area map opens up early. Now, the huge boss's exact location stays perfectly marked in real time. Map unlocked early. A quick spark of mystery hits him. Could his crazy theory be true? Is the system interface inside this zone totally different from the outside world? He almost checks the system menus, when the massive guy, the famous Tyrant Butcher, suddenly freezes completely in its tracks. Its gigantic head slowly turns around. Watch closely. Two glowing crimson eyes slice through the shadows, locking directly onto the counter where our guy is hiding. Nasty drool falls from its jaws, melting the marble floor and kicking up thick clouds of white smoke. Yep, he is totally spotted. He watches those insane muscles bulge. Its back legs tense up, getting ready to charge straight ahead. Every single muscle in his own body goes completely tight. His hands grip the weapon incredibly tight, totally ready to strike back the exact second it lunges and end this intense fight forever. But wait. Sudden movement pops up near the smashed entrance. Walt, this is the exact spot. The yell definitely came from here. A super tense voice breaks the quiet. Then, three mysterious figures appear right in the doorway. The guy in front is super buff, rocking this incredibly heavy, rugged suit of black iron armor. He is carrying an absolute unit of a giant iron axe. The dark stains on that massive blade are already completely dry, but the edge still glows with an awesome golden shine, proving its insane power. Behind him stand two more guys. One tall skinny dude holding a spear, and another who looks completely terrified, tightly gripping a fire axe in his shaking hands. These three guys were drawn here by that loud scream and the epic boss alert. The team leader, Walter, immediately spots the messy scene in the hall. There are pieces everywhere. Plus, that absolutely hideous, crimson-soaked Tyrant Butcher is just standing there with its giant open mouth. Whoa, what in the world is that huge thing? The skinny guy behind Walter whispers in pure shock, his hands gripping the spear completely tight. The third player turns pale, legs shaking with crazy fear. Even Walter feels his own heart completely sink. Just looking at this beast gives off insane, menacing vibes. 8 feet tall, packed with solid muscle, and dripping red juice. Every single detail screams pure, epic danger. You and I see it. This raw power is too much for current players. But Walter's eyes suddenly sharpen. The sweet reward alert echoes in his mind. First boss takedown awards a special chest. 100% guaranteed bronze tier materials. Plus an awesome chance for some super rare extra goodies. Guaranteed bronze materials and epic rare rewards. That huge temptation immediately sparks pure greed right in his heart, completely pushing away all the scary fear he just felt. Walter's base is truly special. It is a blacksmith forge featuring a built-in crafting station. But what he really lacks right now are high-tier materials and sweet blueprints. Just one bronze-tier item could easily push his strength to a new level. Let's evaluate this together. He has a complete set of black iron armor and a heavy axe. With all this epic gear, he basically feels completely untouchable in these super early instance battles. Before arriving here, Walter easily wiped out wandering zombies, rescued those two players, and formed a fun squad to test their luck inside this huge mall. Honestly, what is there to even fear? Walter growls low, his voice echoing across the huge hall, trying to hype up his nervous teammates and fully boost his own brave courage. There are 3 of us here. This beast might look tough, but it is just an early boss. Let us take it down and strike it rich. Stick with me. We are about to find out how strong this basic boss really is. Don't forget my gear. His words instantly wiped the fear right out of his buddy's eyes, replacing it with pure greed. High risk means massive rewards. We are going big. Sadly, all that loud shouting totally grabs the massive tyrant butcher's complete, undivided attention. The massive monster stops looking for me. It slowly turns around. Those hungry, wild eyes lock right onto the 3 guys at the entrance. An ear-splitting roar echoes through the entire empty mall. The tyrant butcher's leg muscles flex insanely hard, completely shattering the marble floor beneath it. Its huge body turns into a wild gray blur, rushing straight forward toward Walter and his crew. Spread out, I will hold it, Walter yells, lifting his giant axe, digging his feet in deep, and pushing every single ounce of strength into his heavy arms. The heavy axe and those massive monster claws crash together, sending bright sparks flying everywhere. Walter gets hit by an absolute truck of force, flying 15 to 20 feet back and crashing incredibly hard right into a solid concrete support pillar. His heavy, dark iron armor bends under the intense pressure. He yells out, and his 2 teammates look absolutely terrified. The tyrant butcher gives them absolutely zero time. It charges forward again, sparking an instant, incredibly fierce, all-out epic brawl. Hidden away. Watch this closely. I watch everything calmly, adjusting my backpack, and quietly slip right into the dark shadows of a ruined jewelry shop, putting a much safer distance from the massive fight. Let them test the boss first. Instead of rushing blindly, I simply pause and open up my system menu. Just like I totally thought, the world chat, regional chat, and trade market are all completely locked out. But 2 brand new glowing icons pop up at the bottom: instance map and instance chat channel. I eagerly open the map up first. A basic overhead map of the shopping streets pops up on screen. Right at the mall, a huge flashing red danger icon shows exactly where the giant boss is currently standing. The map hides other players completely, showing only the massive boss. Next, I check out instance chat channel number 9 out of 10. There is a boss dropping guaranteed bronze loot. Who wants to team up and go fight it together? Wait, it is a real boss. Can we actually beat it easily? Checking it out sounds fun. Let us go see it. Even if it is a huge boss, who cares? I have a heavy iron sword and beat to enemies easily. A boss cannot possibly be that ridiculously strong, right? It has been hours, and these stores are completely empty. I am 100% certain this mall is the absolute best loot spot. Defeat the boss and everyone simply wins. Tons of rapid messages flood the chat as many excited players rush straight toward the mall, completely blinded by amazing loot. Reading their messages, finding good materials outside the mall is actually turning out to be super incredibly tough. If that is true, then to clear missions and survive, they absolutely have to come straight here. I figured it out instantly. You and I know exactly where this is heading now. This whole situation just got way more complex. More players arriving simply means way more unpredictable wildcards. Sometimes greedy players are way more dangerous than giant monster claws. I definitely need to get fully prepared. I pull out my withered tactical Desert Eagle, popping the magazine out smoothly. Cold, heavy brass bullets fall right down into my hand, one by one. Then I grab a simple lighter, carefully pulling out the little flint piece and some highly flammable cotton wick. Omni Cube. With just one thought, a glowing magic cube instantly appears in my open hand. I toss a bullet and some fuel into a crafting slot. Recipe confirmed. Heavy iron pistol round plus basic accelerant. Now actively synthesizing it. Crafting takes 30 seconds. This is an experiment. I noticed these pistol bullets could be taken out entirely as separate items. So I am simply trying to craft a brand new, powerful type of round. I am also checking if the gun still automatically reloads itself once the entire magazine is totally empty of bullets. If it does, then the ammo limit means absolutely nothing at all, as long as I prepare everything in advance. 30 seconds later, a fresh bullet sits in the slot. The tip is no longer a standard brass color. It has a clear shell filled with wild burning oil. Crafting complete. You have unlocked a black iron incendiary round. Effect explodes on impact, dealing fire damage, scattering glass shards, and causing persistent heavy damage right to any unarmored targets. I smile slightly and immediately start mass producing these awesome beauties. 1, 2, 3. I upgrade every single magazine round into a truly lethal piece of explosive art. Minutes later, 7 fresh fire rounds are totally ready. And just like I thought, 3 new regular bullets automatically reloaded straight into the empty magazine. With that ready, let's look back at the haul. We are absolutely going to love this epic showdown. Stick with me, things are about to get wild. A distorted scream echoes out. The guy with the axe misses his dodge. The massive boss claw catches him, completely crushing his defense instantly. His armor shatters completely, sending him flying through the air in a massive glowing burst. David. Walter's eyes burn with rage. Walter's armor is totally wrecked. Dents everywhere, a huge claw mark stamped right on his chest plate, the metal cracking wide open. This boss, its power and defense are just way off the charts. He swings his weapon with everything he has left, carving a pretty deep mark, but it has absolutely zero effect. This monster feels absolutely zero pain, but when it strikes back, Walter's heavy iron armor gets torn apart like it's made of cheap paper. The power gap is just way too huge. Walt, we can't hold this. Let's retreat. The tall, thin teammate is literally shaking right now. Hold on just a bit longer. It's reaching its limit too. Walter grits his teeth, pushing forward. The tyrant butcher could not care less. Letting out a savage roar from its jaws, it charges David. David. Walter is absolutely furious, desperate to rush over and save his friend. But he's super injured and just way too slow. He watches helplessly as that brutal claw totally takes David out of the game, his remaining energy scattering everywhere across the cold floor. The very next second, the butcher's glowing crimson eyes lock onto the tall, thin guy. Just then, 3 totally new players show up at the mall entrance. Stepping inside, they instantly freeze at the crazy scene unfolding. The heavy, awful smell of defeat hits them like a literal brick wall, making one of them instantly start dry heaving. Now pay close attention. Here, a huge guy in iron armor, arm totally twisted, is getting pinned down by this massive gray monster. The creature's claws carve right through the thick metal with ease, making an awful screeching sound. Not far away lie 2 defeated players, their broken gear scattered in ruins across the floor. Help me. Walter, pinned by the beast, veins popping in his neck, manages to turn his head. He spots the 3 newcomers, his eyes, begging for a chance to survive. But those 3 guys at the entrance, violently shaking, completely frozen, their faces packed with pure terror. So this is a real boss. Forget that fortune favors the bold. Nonsense. From the chat, they really thought no matter how strong a boss was, it was just a simple stat block, and with enough numbers, you could easily grind it down. But what they see now is no battle. It is a total one-sided wipeout. Run, run. A shorter guy finally snaps out of his deep shock. Lips trembling wildly, he spins around to escape. Wait. The tall leader grabs his shoulder. His eyes show fear, sure, but pure greed totally takes over. Look at that monster. It's super injured too. Following his lead, the other 2 swallow their intense fear and take a much closer look. Sure enough, as scary as the tyrant butcher is, it has massive damage, a gray aura leaking from its chest and back. Walter's team really went all out, dealing some serious, heavy damage to this crazy beast. Maybe it's finally about to drop. One more good push, and they could actually take it down. I know what you are thinking, total bad idea, right? But greed takes over. Fortune favors the bold. We have 3 guys. It is almost finished. We have a shot. The tall man drops his voice, breathing super heavy, a crazed gleam in his eyes. We have weapons too. What is there to be scared of? Watching their expressions completely change, Walter instantly figures out exactly what these three guys are plotting. They want to play the vulture, just wait until he gets eliminated, then swoop right in for loot. Dream on, buddy. Roar. The boss, super annoyed by Walter struggling, screams out loud and raises a shiny claw, ready to smash it right on his head. Right then, a flash of pure resolve hits Walter's eyes. Using every ounce of remaining strength, he rolls hard, miraculously slipping right out from the beast's firm grip. He scrambles toward the guys at the door, yelling, "You jerks really thought you could just leave me? I am dragging all of you down with me." The three newcomers go pale. They never expected Walter to pull a crazy stunt like this. Losing its main target, the boss rolls those glowing red eyes and instantly locks onto Walter, plus the three shiny new targets standing behind him. Its huge body shifts into a fast gray blur, a heavy gust of wind trailing right behind as it charges forward. The tall man curses out loud, instantly forgetting about any loot. Only one thought left in his brain: run. He bolts. The other two are scared completely witless, stumbling after him deep into the mall. And guess what? They are running right toward my spot, the jewelry store. I watch this whole comedy unfold, carefully calculating my perfect strike. Can you believe this crazy luck? These absolute idiots dragged the massive boss straight to me. Crouched in the store's shadows, I realize it's finally showtime. Too late to back out now. They are coming fast, dragging the massive boss right along. The three panicked players come barreling inside. One guy slips, loses his footing, and slams directly into the exact same counter I am hiding safely behind. Let's dive right into this wild game. A massive crash completely ruins my perfect little hiding spot. Those three running players totally freeze in panic. They definitely didn't expect another gamer chilling in this crazy place. But that sudden shock vanishes fast. One of them suddenly gets a super sneaky idea. He sprints right past me, grabs a heavy wooden plank, and chucks it my way. His two little buddies instantly copy him and throw theirs right at me too. I dodge those flying planks like a totally flawless pro, but those pranksters sprint away, leaving me face to face with the giant boss. Sorry. A super cheeky voice echoes from those runners. My face stays totally calm, but oh boy, I've already decided to teach them a major lesson. The massive pursuing boss lets out an earth-shattering roar. Its glowing crimson eyes lock right onto me as I step out boldly. Walter catches up and totally freezes when he finally spots me. Then, a wildly arrogant grin spreads across his face. He actually thinks he can escape while I distract this absolute beast. But the massive boss totally ignores its shiny new little target. On its ultimate grudge list, the guy who hit it hardest, Walter, has got to go. The giant monster's muscles erupt with insane power, cracking the beautiful marble floor beneath its giant feet. It charges forward with unstoppable speed, leaving poor Walter only enough time for one tiny yelp before he makes his escape. In a flash, the beast's sharp claw strikes right through his awesome armor, effortlessly, sending out a giant splash of red. The monster opens its gigantic jaws and bites Walter's gear clean off with a huge crunch, then wildly tosses him completely aside. It slowly turns around, its glowing crimson eyes locking straight onto me. In its little mind, I am next. Now, pay very close attention here. Those three tricksters reached a distant shop, watching this intense showdown unfold, completely losing their breath over the epic scene. Walter, who they honestly thought was totally invincible in his super cool iron armor, just got wiped out like a literal toy. Leon watches this wild scene, his voice shaking non-stop as he quickly turns to Trevor. "Hey, Trevor, are we seriously still fighting that absolute beast? Can we actually handle something that crazy?" Hearing those nervous words, chubby Leo also stares at Trevor. Trevor is totally shivering, but his eyes suddenly fill with super fierce determination. What is there to even fear? We literally agreed before coming here, and we have weapons. Let this guy distract it first. When the boss looks away, we totally attack. Leon and Leo exchange glances, and their greedy ambition completely takes over their fear. They remember the awesome shiny gear they found earlier and nod confidently. Meanwhile, the massive boss starts making its move. It doesn't rush like before. Instead, it slowly walks toward me with super heavy, scary steps. Every single step completely shakes the floor. After taking out those other players, it's covered in a total mess, radiating a ridiculously intense and terrifying aura. I slowly lift my right hand, firmly gripping my super unique tactical Desert Eagle pistol, aiming straight at the giant beast, walking closer. Watching this wild move, those three players look completely stunned. A pistol? You and I both know that sounds crazy, right? A pistol? What happens next will completely blow their tiny minds forever. A super loud gunshot echoes through the hall, and a cool bullet zooms through the air, hitting the monster's right eye on target. The eye instantly pops. Nasty green liquid mixed with weird glowing slime splatters everywhere. The wild surprise makes the giant beast let out an ear-piercing roar. It blindly swings its big claws crazily, its huge body stumbling backwards. Before it even regains balance, boom, another perfect shot. The bullet spins directly into its other good eye, leaving it totally blinded. The giant monster goes absolutely crazy, thrashing around like a raging bull. It wildly swings its claws, charging blindly toward where I stood. The fast wind from its wild swings hits hard, but I easily dodge. My awesome movements are so smooth and perfectly avoid every single crazy monster attack coming. Right at that moment, my shiny Desert Eagle fires continuously. Each flaming orange bullet flies with pure epic perfection, striking right into the exact weak spots Walter created earlier on the angry boss. The very second it hits, a tiny fireball bursts inside, brilliantly lighting up the beast. It creates sizzling noises and an incredibly awful burning smell. Even worse, countless little bright glass pieces explode outward, digging deep into those fresh impacts, causing some seriously non-stop crazy damage. The angry boss gets way slower, its super fierce roars turning into weak whimpers. Those three sneaky guys watching are now left completely and totally stunned by the action. Their jaws completely drop open in total silence. They simply cannot understand the wild magic happening right before them. The terrifying beast that wiped out everyone. The giant monster that made them shake with fear. The one they barely dared to fight. In front of me, it is just a funny toy being completely played with. So what do you and I take from this? After 7 epic shots, the final glowing bullet lands perfectly inside its roaring mouth. Stick with me here. Suddenly, flames erupt inside the beast. A muffled blast echoing from its huge belly. Bright orange firelight even glows straight through its scorched eyes. The tyrant butcher's massive form suddenly stiffens, completely freezing up. It stands perfectly still for just a few seconds, then crashes hard to the ground, kicking up epic dust clouds. The very next second, its body dissolves into glowing light. Immediately after that, a huge announcement rings out for all the remaining players. Big congratulations to player Omni, who successfully defeated the Tier 1 instance boss. Tyrant Butcher, a super special bronze chest, has been fully awarded. A chest glowing with epic ancient bronze light slowly materializes right where that monster vanished. The entire mall hall falls into total, complete silence. I calmly blow the imaginary smoke off my gun's muzzle and walk with a cool expression toward that winner's chest. Watching this totally absurd scene, those three swallow hard in unison, exchanging panicked glances, seeing pure shock in each other's eyes. Leon visibly struggles to speak. Should we still go through with it? The chubby Leo is just as terrified right now. Remembering what they pulled earlier, he literally cannot stop shaking. Maybe we should just run away. He has a gun. We completely crossed him. He's totally going to finish us any minute. Hearing this, Leon snaps right back to reality, shouting in panic. Yeah, Trev, let's get out of here. Now pay attention. This changes everything. Trevor grips his weapon, the shock in his eyes fading as logic returns. That gun. Unless he's completely mistaken, that weapon actually looks like a Desert Eagle. The reason Trevor knows this detail so well? Back on Blue Star, he absolutely loved visiting overseas shooting ranges. And that gun, although a little strange looking, he's totally sure is a Desert Eagle. With this thought, he grows way more composed. If he counted correctly, the gun fired 7 times. He's most likely out of bullets. Trevor looks at the bronze chest, pure greed surging back. He turns to the other two. What is there to fear? He's got a gun, but we have ranged weapons too, right? Besides, I am absolutely positive that's a Desert Eagle. A Desert Eagle holds 7 rounds, and he fired all 7. I am almost 100% sure he's empty. Leon's eyes flicker with doubt, his deep fear of firearms not easily dispelled. But Trev, what if he has more than 7 rounds? Leo nods rapidly, totally agreeing. Trevor lets out a cold laugh and simply counters, let me ask you, if you actually had a loaded gun, would you hold back after someone just totally set you up like that, and not pull the trigger? Right. You see the logic, right? They immediately catch on. No way. So he must be totally out, or he'd be attacking us already. Trevor grows incredibly confident in his theory. That's exactly why he's bluffing over there, trying to grab the chest and quickly run away. In that case, what's there to fear? Right. You're totally making sense. The chest is right there. We aren't the ones who should be scared. He definitely is. Greed absolutely takes control. Trevor finally raises his weapon. A simple crossbow they scavenged in an outdoor goods store on the commercial street. The sharp bolt is aimed straight at me. Trevor lifts the black iron simple crossbow up. That was their lucky find from the outdoor store. The dark bolt gleams coldly. The sight locked right on me as I stroll toward the chest. Trevor takes a deep breath. A theory is just a simple theory. When it actually comes time to act, there's still a clear hint of nervousness. He forces himself calm and loudly shouts, "Hold it." His voice cracks from the intense strain, dragging unnaturally and completely breaking as it echoes through the hall. My steps pause. I don't even turn around. I only shift slightly to the side, glancing at the 3 utter fools out of the corner of my eye. In my mind, these 3 are basically already history. I had originally planned to secure the chest first, and deal with them properly afterward. I really didn't expect these massive idiots would try making a move on me first. Leave the chest, then get lost. We can pretend nothing ever happened. Trevor tightly grips his crossbow, forcing his voice steady, trying to control the situation. Beside him, Leon and Leo, seeing Jensen make 0 movement, feel their wild theory turning into reality. Their courage grows, and they immediately join right in. That's right, you hear him? Leave the gear, be smart and run. Our sharp bolts don't have eyes. I suddenly laugh, a quiet sound filled with pure mockery. I find these 3 completely, pitifully stupid. The laughter strikes a serious nerve in Trevor, his face instantly turning beet red. What the heck are you laughing at? He roars, spit flying. Your gun's fully out of bullets, isn't it? I totally counted them. Exactly 7 shots. No more, no less. I know my guns. A Desert Eagle's magazine holds only 7. I highly suggest you put down that piece of junk too. Otherwise, the next second, this bolt, especially coated with paralyzing venom, goes straight through your head. I turn around without speaking, calmly answering with action instead. With a faint mechanical click, I slowly raise my right hand, the Deadwood Tactical Desert Eagle, which the 3 totally believe is empty, once again pointed straight at them. Trust me, that simple little gesture makes the entire hall's atmosphere feel suddenly, massively oppressive. Let's dive in. I tracked my ammo. Taking out the boss completely drained all 7 custom fire rounds, but the Deadwood Tactical Desert Eagle is a bronze-tier weapon boasting an insanely powerful trick. Automatic reload. Once the magazine goes empty, it magically generates 1 round every 60 seconds. I tested it. The crazy part? Just removing a round without firing triggers the exact same effect. Because of that handy loophole, crafting those fire rounds allowed the Desert Eagle to magically regenerate 3 fresh shots. Add the time spent fighting the boss, and this Desert Eagle now holds 6 fully ready shots. Way more than enough to handle these 3 annoying guys approaching me. Trevor stares at the raised barrel, freezes for a second, and then an extremely wild grin stretches across his entire face. You really dare bluff me with an unloaded weapon? You think I scare that easily? Boys, he is totally gambling on our hesitation. Fake. Rush him together. That epic chest is ours. He shouts confidently, pressing down hard on his heavy crossbow trigger. Now watch closely. Beside him, Leon and Leo sense something is totally wrong. A dark feeling rising fast. Then, their worst nightmare immediately becomes very real. A crisp blast echoes. Trevor violently jolts backwards, his loaded crossbow remaining completely unfired. A perfectly aimed strike lands right in the middle of his forehead. The searing impact blasts right through, sending a messy splatter of debris flying straight out the back, heavily splashing the 2 completely stunned guys standing right next to him. That arrogant smirk freezes on his face forever, all the energy rapidly leaving his wide eyes. He topples straight backward, his weapon dropping onto the smooth marble floor with a sharp clatter. Absolute silence follows. Leon and Leo stand there, totally paralyzed by intense panic. Their faces and outfits are covered in messy aftermath, still strangely warm from that brutal hit. Brains blanking, they forget to breathe. Their wide eyes practically bulge out, simply watching Trevor crash down right at their feet. More warm splatter hitting their boots and clothes. That distinct, heavy scent invades their noses, completely shattering their last remaining courage. A delayed shriek finally bursts right from Leon's panicked throat. His legs give out entirely, and he collapses downwards, utterly losing control of his bladder in pure panic. No, do not finish me, please, just spare me. Chubby Leo reacts slightly faster, hitting his knees with a loud thud. He bows frantically towards me, slamming his forehead repeatedly on the floor until he feels totally dizzy. Both guys sob loudly, creating an incredibly pathetic scene. I show absolutely zero emotion. My eyes remain entirely ice cold. Choosing me as bait permanently sealed their destiny. I am absolutely no saint. Bang! Second loud shot, and Leo instantly freezes right in the middle of his apology. The blast connects hard, making his heavy frame immediately slump forward. His face smacks into the wet floor he just made, completely silenced for good. Leon, the very last guy, watches another buddy drop lifeless beside him, his mind completely shattering. You and I saw this coming, right? He stops begging, scrambling backward helplessly, babbling total nonsense with a thoroughly messy, tearful face. I grant him 0 extra time for fear. Bang! The final third blast. That perfect round instantly ends his foolish run. 3 vanquished enemies now rest neatly in a quiet row nearby. I lower my Desert Eagle, a thin pale smoke wisp gently rising from the barrel. Total silence returns to the grand hall. My focused eyes lock right onto that bronze chest. Time for the ultimate winner's loot. I confidently walk straight center, approaching exactly where that massive tyrant butcher just completely dissolved into magical light. That bronze chest hovers perfectly in midair, glowing softly. I slowly reach out, my finger gently tapping its super icy metallic outer shell. A quick system prompt immediately hits my brain. Open special bronze chest? Absolutely, yes, I answer mentally. The very next second, the chest gives a soft click, bursting with brilliant, flashy light. The glowing light quickly gathers, and 3 separate items slowly drift right out, hovering quietly before me. A whole series of system prompts loudly ring inside my head. Congratulations! You have successfully opened a special bronze chest. You obtained a bronze storage pack. You obtained 5 energy crystals. You obtained bronze mutated butcher sinew. My gaze immediately lands on that seemingly very ordinary looking black backpack. I quickly reach out and grab it. The pack's properties appear before me. Name, storage pack. Tier, bronze. Capacity, 3 cubic meters. Effect, built-in spatial stabilization structure, reduces stored item weight by 90%. 3 cubic meters. My eyes flash with delight, joy totally spilling out. That is equivalent to the volume of a large wardrobe. For ordinary survivors right now, This thing is an absolute luxury. Earlier, while I was hiding, I safely stashed the heavy trekking pack under a dusty shop shelf. I march right into the store, find that bulging black iron heavy trekking pack, and swiftly transfer the food, plus the awesome tools I just looted, into the new storage pack. Viewed from outside, the storage pack simply looks like an ordinary black backpack. When I open the top flap, the opening looks just like a black hole. Everything I drop inside vanishes instantly. Pretty wild, right? I can perfectly sense all the things sitting safely inside. Stick with me, we are about to check out his insane loot. I sling the pack on, the crazy weight instantly vanishing. Next, 5 glowing crystals floating right in midair. Each one is thumb-sized, completely irregular in shape, swirling with bright, pure energy just waiting to be tapped. Name: Energy Crystal. Tier 1. Type: a universal energy material. Description: it is the absolute foundational currency of this infinite world. You can use these to speed up Omni Cube synthesis, power up safehouse modules, or even craft and upgrade incredibly rare high-tier items. Direct absorption raises your personal tier and unlocks talents, but the conversion rate is absolute garbage. Seriously, not recommended. Hard currency. I clear my throat, repeating those exact 2 words to burn them into memory. Basically, these glowing crystals are worth way more than standard supplies. In any future trades, these things will be in massive demand. I carefully stash all 5 into my pack. The final drop is this weird, semi-clear, gray-green piece of monster stock. Name: Mutated Butcher Sinew. Tier: Bronze. Type: Material. Description: tough biological fiber ripped straight from that otherworldly tyrant butcher. It has absolutely insane elasticity and strength. Perfect for crafting flexible armor, heavy bowstrings, or custom weapon parts. Seriously good stuff. I make a quick mental note. It is useless right now, but with my Omni Cube, this will totally save me later. I packed the sinew away too. With the chest totally cleared out, I turn toward Trevor and the other 2 defeated guys on the floor. The fierce battle just ended. The area is totally trashed. Now here is where it gets good. Watch closely as I crouch to search Trevor's gear. Quickly, I grab some compressed biscuits, water, and that black iron crossbow he aimed at me. The craftsmanship is a little rough around the edges, but the metallic limbs are super sturdy and shining brightly. The exact second my finger brushes the cold metal of the crossbow, a fresh system alert pings in my head. Player Omni has grabbed a 5th black iron item. Beginner Instance Mission, Abandoned Commercial Street, successfully completed. Mission Objective 1, collect 5 out of 5 black iron items. Mission Objective 2, grab 1 bronze item. Completion is 100%. Extraction point activated. Please head to the extraction point before time runs out. Instantly, a glowing, translucent map pops up right before my eyes. It is a full top-down view of the area. Right at the mall entrance, a green arrow blinks endlessly, with a little dotted line connecting my exact current spot all the way to that marker. With a single thought, I simply tap the arrow. Extraction point, Qingyang Road bus stop. Location, 490 feet east of the entrance. Extraction method, clean exit direct extraction. Time remaining, 17 hours, 3 minutes, and 21 seconds. The exit is just outside the mall, super close by. You see that timer? We have plenty of time. But seeing an actual extraction method listed means there have to be other wild options besides just a direct exit. I suddenly remember this super popular extraction shooter game played back on Blue Star, Delta Force. I snap back to reality. I'm definitely not rushing out of here just yet. Instead, I go back to stripping Leon and Leo of their gear. These 2 guys were completely broke. Besides a few plain packs of biscuits, they had 0 value. But wait, a nice surprise pops up. I yank a bulging bundle from Leo. Name: Common Small Material Pack. Contents: 30 wood, 20 stone. Rating: very basic material pack. Useful for all kinds of things. A material pack? I'm honestly shocked. I never expected getting simple wood would happen through bundles like this. I seriously thought you had to chop trees or mine rocks. Turns out, it works differently. But then it hits me. If it wasn't like this, gathering stuff piece by piece would take forever and be impossible to carry, especially in a huge city map like this. As long as the pack stays closed, it is just a tiny little bundle, barely the size of 2 hands. I toss it into my bag anyway. With everything sorted, I stand up. The entire mall hall is empty and totally silent. The boss is defeated, and the players who tried to steal my chest are permanently out of the picture. To me, this huge mall is now an unguarded goldmine. Any normal player would leave right now to save their loot. But staring at that broken escalator leading to the 2nd floor, yeah, I have a much better idea. The danger is basically zero, and insane loot is sitting throughout this whole building. I shut the map, and the green arrow fades. I have hours left. I can keep hunting around. All the supplies in this mall are just waiting for me, but I am not heading upstairs quite yet. There are 3 fallen enemies I haven't even searched. One had full tactical gear, and according to his friend, he also owned a super rare, specially upgraded safehouse module somewhere. Trust me, you and I want to see this loot. You and I are jumping right back in. I walk across the hall to where Walter finally fell. Claws ripped right through his armor, leaving him completely wrecked. His heavy black iron plate armor is completely twisted. There's a massive hole punched straight through the center, with those jagged metal edges folding violently inward. I crouch right beside him, the heavy scent of battle hitting hard. Right when I try taking his armor, a faint white glow pops up on Walter's fallen form, pulling instantly toward his shattered chest plate. Inside that glow, a tiny blacksmith hammer slowly forms, giving off bronze energy. Special safehouse owner Walter confirmed eliminated. Special safehouse module dropping right now. I freeze. So, whenever a special owner gets taken out, their core module might actually drop. I never expected this. I reach out, directly tapping the floating hammer projection. Name: Credible Workbench Module. Type: Safehouse Facility Module. Tier: Black Iron. Effect: spawns a basic workbench inside your base, letting you easily repair, dismantle, and craft gear while unlocking essential basic recipe blueprints. Wood required: 1,000, 500 stone, 100 metal, and 10 tier 1 crystals. An upgradable workbench module? Oh yeah, my eyes absolutely light up now. I know exactly how insane this is. It easily beats all my other loot combined. The storage pack, crystals, and beast sinew just boost personal power, but this specific workbench, it's a massive functional module for the base, bringing pure, endless productivity. Think about it with me. Now, and fix gear and forge weapons without totally depending on that Omni Cube synthesis system. Plus, that cube only gives you a limited number of slots, and forging high-tier stuff takes forever. This workbench perfectly acts as a backup, grinding out the low-tier, boring recipes, so those precious cube slots stay open for the major upgrades. And the absolute best part, upgradable. Sure, it starts at black iron, but hit those requirements and pushing it to bronze or silver will be an absolute breeze. Most player modules are permanently locked. That right there is exactly why finding an upgradable one makes this unbelievably rare. But then a totally different thought hits me. Once people figure out special owners drop premium modules when taken down, every single one of those base owners will instantly become a massive, walking target for everyone. I stash it immediately, without hesitation, and get straight back to work. Grabbing my shovel, I force open the heavy buckles on his plate armor, quickly shoving those shattered arm guards and leg plates right into my bag. The broken black iron plate armor, sitting at 17 durability, works perfectly as raw synthesis material. Plus, there's a fully intact black iron steel axe resting nearby. You literally cannot have enough melee weapons, and it doubles perfectly as raw synthesis fodder for later. I quickly check Walters to defeated goons, tossing their pockets, but confirming these low-level guys carry absolutely nothing else worth taking. I finally get back up. The whole first floor of the mall stays incredibly silent. 7 defeated enemies are scattered absolutely everywhere across the tiles. I slowly look up toward the second floor escalator. 17 hours left on the clock. Leaving now guarantees a huge win. But my strategy is always about maximizing the absolute limits. We just cleared the threat, right? Now, it's just pure loot everywhere. I'm definitely not rushing upstairs. Instead, I kick off a massive carpet search across floor 1. Experience proves doing a systematic sweep completely beats wandering around totally blind. My very first target, the giant brand name sporting goods store up ahead. Ignoring the basic clothes and shoes, my eyes lock directly onto the high-end functional gear section. Sitting right inside a row of regular hiking shoes, basic black high-top boots emit a soft glow, which means they aren't normal grade. Name, Trekker's boots. Tier, solid black iron. Effect, boosts movement speed slightly and cuts down stamina loss during long travels. I ditch my sneakers, slide into these black iron boots, and feel a completely flawless, snug fit. My steps feel noticeably lighter. Next up, checking the accessory aisle, I grab a handy gadget. Name, Artisan's multi-tool pliers. Tier, black iron. Maybe not super helpful for me, but a black iron item is a black iron item. Next door in electronics, almost everything is just completely busted junk. Sitting quietly in one corner counter, I spot a glowing, high-capacity power bank. Name, Ultra Endurance Power Bank. Tier, black iron. Effect, temporarily supplies energy perfectly equal to 3 Tier 1 crystals. A pretty solid find. I keep moving. Jewelry stalls, makeup shops, and luxury boutiques are totally ignored. After an entire hour, floor 1 is mostly clear. Aside from those first 3 specific items, absolutely zero extra black iron gear shows up. My footsteps eventually halt right at the far end of the floor, standing squarely before a massive outdoor specialty shop. The glass doors are locked from the inside. I step back, and we gotta test these boots. One massive kick right into the glass seam. Watch what happens next. Alright, stick with me. The glass shatters instantly, turning into a glittering floor. Stepping inside, the place smells like plastic and rubber. Windbreakers and heavy backpacks gem the shelves, while trekking poles, shiny ice axes, and folding shovels are piled everywhere on the ground. This spot is basically the ultimate treasure vault for survivors. Scanning the blade cases, I quickly grab a weapon. Name, Jungle Machete. Tier, black iron. That makes piece number 4. Pushing deeper inside, I loop around the tall shelves, hunting for the storage area and staff break room. Unopened cargo boxes are stacked high inside the back storage. I crack a few open. Most just hold tents and waterproof mats. But right before leaving, I freeze in my tracks. Now watch closely. Hidden behind random boxes, a weird iron gray box totally catches my eye. It's a chunky square safe, covered in thick steel, featuring a complex mechanical combination dial and a solid keyhole right on the front. Crouching down, my fingers brush the freezing metal. A special locked container has been detected. Name, Heavy Duty Safe. Tier, unknown. Status, locked tight, double secured by both combination and key. It probably holds insane loot. Forcing it open might ruin everything. Unknown tier. Hearing that actually makes me gasp for a second. Inside the game Crucible of Worlds, infinite survival unknown usually means 2 things. A crazy power level way beyond our understanding, or an absolutely legendary rare item. Either way, this means an absolutely massive opportunity. I try opening the Omni Cube synthesis panel. The target item actually holds special rules. It cannot be used directly as crafting material. Totally expected. Standing up, I circle the box. Completely sealed tight, without a single weak spot. Smashing it open ruins the loot. That is the worst idea ever. So, I need clues. The code and the key. My eyes slowly drift over to the closed door right beside me. The sign clearly says manager's office. Walking right up, I see. It's normal wood with an intact lock. I raise my leg, and the toe of my heavy boot strikes perfectly. Snap. Splinters blast everywhere as the entire lock and a massive chunk of the wooden frame get kicked completely clean off its hinges. The door violently swings open. Pushing inside, an absolutely disgusting fermented stench smacks my face. The odor is overwhelmingly bad. This manager's office is tiny and basic. Just a desk, an office chair, and a smashed filing cabinet. Papers are totally scattered everywhere across the floor. That awful stench is coming from behind. A guy is slumped face down on the desk, his shirt totally covered in dried, dark stains. There is a massive hole in his back, bursting outward, like something completely took him out with one single, brutal strike from behind. You saw that too, right? Surprise hits me hard. Were there actually other players already inside this specific instance? I push that wild thought away immediately. Something feels completely wrong. The reason is simple. This guy is heavily bloated and ruined, gone for way more than just a couple days. He had to be here from the start. After all, our survivor squad only arrived today. I stare at the fallen guy, thinking hard, before quickly snapping back to reality. No matter what happened, my mission right now is crystal clear. Key and combination code. Circling the desk, I reach out and search his stiff pockets. That gross, slimy texture of his ruined clothes does not slow me down at all. I quickly yank a lanyard right off the guy's swollen neck. A shiny brass key is tied firmly to the very end. Target acquired. My eyes sweep across the messy room, hunting for the next big clue. Smashed cabinets, papers, a random painting. Finally, my eyes completely lock onto the dark computer monitor sitting right there on the wooden desk. Right on the monitor's black edge, there is a damp, slightly curled yellow sticky note, scribbled in black. Marker is a messy code. 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8. Right before leaving, a faint white glow catches my full attention. I hum quietly and spin around. The black smartphone sitting beside the fallen manager suddenly has its screen glowing brightly in the dark. Grabbing it, I tap the screen. This thing actually still works perfectly. The display is frozen right on an open chat window. Message. The sender is Simon. The text is super short, but the info inside is absolutely massive. Dad, Shen Cheng is currently facing a massive new virus outbreak. We cannot stop it. I am completely safe at the research facility. You need to hide right now. Do not go outside. Tragically, Simon's father, this exact manager right here, never even sent a reply back. Looks like the warning arrived way too late. Shen Cheng, a virus. Seeing that horrifying butcher earlier, the truth is easy to guess. We are in Shen Cheng, and this outbreak sounds exactly like a zombie virus. This survival instance is definitely not as simple as it looked. Shaking off my thoughts, I dropped the device. I already tested it. This phone cannot be taken out of the instance. So what do we make of this? I turn around, walking straight back into the storage area to unlock that heavy iron safe. Stick with me, we are unlocking something epic today. He crouches, slides the brass key right in, and the heavy mechanism clicks. Reaching out his finger, he carefully turns that heavy, complicated mechanical dial. In the completely quiet storage room, all that remains is the ticking of turning gears. 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8. The very last number hits the red mark. Boom! That massive lock finally gives way, and the super thick steel door automatically pops open just a little bit. He reaches out and pulls it wide open. No piles of shiny treasure inside. Just 3 softly glowing white orbs floating peacefully right in the middle. Each glowing sphere wraps an item. He excitedly reaches for the first orb. Module is a basic arrow tower. Safe house attack type, black iron tier. It deploys a basic defensive tower right outside his shelter. It automatically targets enemies within 50 meters. It builds 1 arrow every 10 seconds, or he can just manually reload it anytime. The note warns to constantly restock materials, because magic arrows do not just appear. An actual attack module. His eyes totally sharpen. The safe house finally gains some real offensive power. He will not have to fight everything alone anymore. Against lower-level monster swarms, his base creates a seriously powerful line of defensive fire. That 50-meter range easily covers his entire safe house perimeter perfectly. This tactical advantage completely outclasses his old Desert Eagle. Plus, he has absolutely not forgotten about the intense purgatory battlefield waiting up ahead. He excitedly tucks it into his storage pack, then turns to the second glowing orb. The light completely fades, revealing a beautiful white ceramic toilet model right in front of him. Module is lavatory, safe house facility type. Black iron tier. This puts a fully working toilet indoors, complete with purification and waste clearing features to keep his entire safe house spotless. His expression stays totally calm, but he knows exactly how valuable this is. It seems super ordinary, but fixing sanitation during an apocalypse completely wipes out huge sources of terrible infections and disease. A shelter built for long-term survival absolutely requires living facilities, just like strong defenses. This is survival basics. He quickly stores this item away too. Now pay close attention, because his attention fully shifts onto the brightest orb right in the center. We are totally looking at the absolute biggest prize here. He reaches out, his fingertips grazing the orb. Boom! The light explodes open, transforming into a massive stream of information, flooding his mind. Congratulations, player Omni. You have obtained a special item. A Tier 2 safe house upgrade blueprint. A softly glowing parchment scroll magically appears, resting inside his palm. Drawn entirely in shiny silver ink, the blueprint reveals an epic building. It is several times larger than his tiny wooden cabin, featuring an incredibly complex and sturdy structure. Name: Tier 2 Safe House Upgrade Blueprint. Type: Special Blueprint. Bronze Tier. Effect: once used, it instantly levels up his basic Tier 1 Omni cabin into a Tier 2. The requirements: Wood 0 of 600. Stone 0 of 300, Metal 0 of 200, and Tier 1 Energy Crystals, 0 out of 10. Upgrade effects include expanding the base area, massively boosting defense, increasing module capacity, and unlocking awesome exclusive functions. A Tier 2 safe house. His gaze intensely sharpens. That arrow tower gave him fangs. But this blueprint rockets him a full tier ahead of every single other player. The actual tier of your safe house is basically the foundation for surviving this world. A Tier 1 safe house is really just a starting point, a place to clear the rookie phase. You and I know constant upgrades are needed for those wild challenges ahead. And boom, he already holds the golden ticket to level 2. The required materials are absolutely huge, especially those 200 units of metal. But hey, he still has his trusty Omni Cube. With enough basic items, synthesizing high-tier materials is just a matter of time. He confidently packs it away. His intense gaze drifts toward the mall's second floor. Those second and third floors remain completely untouched up there. Meanwhile, on the other side, the final remaining person inside this instance, besides him, that final survivor, Roger, is standing right outside a super peculiar shop. A pharmacy whose name literally does not even appear on the instance map. Exploring the second floor goes way faster. Most stores are completely ransacked with literally nothing good left. Inside a sports brand storage room, he actually finds a second medium supply pack. It holds 200 wood, 150 stone, and 30 metal units. Plus, he discovers 2 more black iron items. A super warm windproof jacket that completely blocks cold, and another gear piece that gives a little speed boost. He happily packs everything away and shoots a quick glance at the escalator, going straight up to 3. There is absolutely nothing else worth looting on floor 2. So he strides right over, totally ready to check out the top level. That is where we leave our guy. But trust me, watch this closely. Several hundred meters away on the instance edge, Roger hugs a wall and spies on that super basic corner pharmacy. Stick with me here. Roger's heart is racing fast. The game's survivor count just plummeted from 10 down to 2. One fell, then another. This zone originally had 10 players, but now, only 2 are still standing. 10 total. And now it is just him versus some guy named Omni. Cold sweat runs straight down Roger's back. Thank goodness, he stayed super cautious and ignored that giant, flashy treasure trap sitting right over at the mall. That location was pure danger from the very beginning. His smart choice saved him. Now, besides himself, only one single player remains active. Even with the mall completely cleared, he is not dumb. Omni is still waiting there. Anyone surviving that trap and beating the boss is no joke. So naturally, avoiding the mall is obvious. Roger shifts his full focus back to the pharmacy. This specific shop feels incredibly weird. He initially came out here to finish his quest, grab some extra supplies, and actively avoid the mall completely, ending up exploring this very far edge of the street. Wandering infected occasionally showed up along the path, but he moved cautiously toward this zone, and he finally stumbled upon this mysterious shop. Every single store on the map has a visible marker, except this Sencheng pharmacy. It is completely blank. Now pay attention here. An unmarked building always means one thing: a hidden zone. There is definitely epic loot waiting inside. Roger inhales deeply, double checks to make sure absolutely zero monsters are lurking nearby, then stays low and sprints straight across the street to the main doors. The front glass door hangs a closed for business sign, with the heavy lock intact. Grabbing a thin iron wire from his backpack, he prepares a trick he learned earlier. It looks completely basic, but in his skilled hands, it has endless potential. He slowly works the lock mechanism for about 30 seconds, until with one soft click, the heavy lock pops open. Roger slowly pushes the door open just a crack, listens closely for any danger, finds nothing, sneaks inside, and immediately shuts it behind him. The pharmacy interior is a total mess. Pills are scattered everywhere on the ground, huge shelves knocked over, the air completely filled with a weird medicinal dust. It truly looks like somebody already raided this entire place. Roger totally ignores that. This actually proves his theory perfectly. An average pharmacy would never be mysteriously hidden from maps. He carefully searches every single corner, under tables, behind shelves, up high. Finally, hidden right behind a massive display cabinet that had completely fallen over, he spots something totally weird. The wall's color is just slightly off. He walks right up and knocks twice. Knock, knock. It echoes hollow. Roger's eyes instantly gleam. He immediately starts running his hands across the wall. Quickly, he discovers a tiny hidden groove right near the corner. He pulls hard, and with a rough grinding sound, the stone wall actually slides inward, exposing a completely pitch-black tunnel. A secret door. A disgusting stench blasts out from the tunnel, way worse than outside, mixed with rust and pure decay. Roger's expression drops. I know what you're thinking. A dark tunnel equals danger, right? But fortune favors the bold, and hidden loot is highly valuable. He pauses for just 1 second, grits his teeth hard, and pulls a heavy black iron-spiked club out of his bag. Gripping his weapon tightly in one hand, he flicks on his black iron flashlight with the other, and cautiously steps into the dark tunnel. The tunnel is barely 10 meters. At the end stands a massive iron door unlocked, and just slightly pushed open. Roger presses his ear directly against the cold metal, hearing absolutely nothing. He slowly pushes the door wider. Behind it sits a massive room, looking like some underground storage space, or really, a secret lab. Several huge stainless steel cabinets cover the walls, alongside a central lab table. Weird glass containers and strange, unrecognizable science instruments are scattered everywhere. Suddenly, a low, creepy wheezing noise echoes from the dark corner of the room. Roger's hair instantly stands straight up. He quickly whips the bright flashlight beam toward the corner. A creepy figure wearing a white lab coat stands backward, its entire body twitching wildly. The terrifying figure slowly turns around. Its twisted face has a gross, grayish, fully decayed color. One eye is completely rotted into a black hole, while the other looks violently red and clouded. A monster, and totally different from the slow, basic zombies outside. Huge roar. The zombie spots the light, and Roger lets out a harsh roar, drops to all fours, and violently lunges at him like a wild beast. Insanely fast. Roger's pupils shrink. Acting on pure instinct, he swings his heavy club downward. Smack! The weapon hits the zombie's shoulder perfectly, but barely stalls its crazy momentum. This freak is ridiculously strong. Before Roger can even react, the monster is right on top of him, opening its nasty jaws wide toward his neck. At the last possible second, Roger throws his body backward, rolling across the floor, barely dodging the nasty bite. He quickly scrambles up, his heart pounding wildly. This monster is way too brutal, far beyond what he can fight. Gotta run. The thought flashes, but he sees the freak resetting its stance, ready to pounce again. That's where we leave it. The path is too tight. No running, he absolutely must fight. Let's dive into this wild quest. Roger glares, reading the gnarly mutant's trajectory without stepping back. He pushes forward, twisting sideways, barely dodging those wicked claws. Meanwhile, putting all his weight behind the huge swing, he totally smashes the club right into the creature's creepy face. That heavy weapon sinks halfway inside. The ghoul freezes, letting out a wild screech while thrashing around crazy. Our guy holds on tight. Pushing with max strength, he pins the monster right against the wall. Go down. Just stay down. He yells out loudly, flexing those strong arms and driving his club much deeper. Finally, the beast stops its struggling, its head tilting to one side before totally freezing in place. Only then does Roger finally let go. He plops onto the ground, looking totally drained of energy, just gasping loudly. Eventually, he catches his breath. He glances at the defeated mutant, feeling pretty rattled. This guy was definitely a super rare special variant. Standing up, he bravely approaches the fallen enemy, pushing past the gross feeling to search its pockets. Bingo! From the pocket of that ruined lab coat, he grabs a sturdy card. It is totally white, rocking a tiny 1-inch square photo right on it. The dude in the photo wears glasses, looking really smart. That is exactly what this mutant used to be. Below that picture, tiny text spells it out: Senchang 3rd Research Institute Affiliated Laboratory. Researcher Lawrence. Senchang Research Institute. Roger completely freezes. He remembers the system notification starting this run. Wasn't this area just an empty commercial street zone? Now pay attention. Between this off-map pharmacy, the secret basement, and a monster clearly mutated from a researcher, an epic realization hits him. This pharmacy is totally fake. It is actually a secret entrance to the main institute, or maybe even part of it. Ultimate jackpot. Talk about a crazy lucky break. His heart races, eyes sparkling, and his breathing gets super intense. He immediately starts exploring the room, checking every single corner. He pulls open the shiny steel cabinets one by one. Most are empty or hold broken gadgets, but he never stops searching. Finally, his eyes catch the central lab desk. Right at the base, he finds a sneaky hidden compartment, almost perfectly blending into that shiny, metallic surface. The compartment has 0 locks, just a card slot. Roger excitedly pulls out that researcher ID card, sliding it right into place. A soft electronic chime rings out, the floor in front magically splits open, and a cool metal platform slowly rises straight up. Right in the center sits an epic passageway extending downwards, completely shining with bright white glowing light inside. That bright downward path completely contrasts the dark pharmacy above. Roger gulps loudly, feeling a super thrilling mix of nerves and pure gaming hype. That researcher beast honestly left him rattled. Who knows what gnarly monsters are chilling beneath this glowing light? But our boy is already here. You and I both know what this means. Places locked up this tight hide the absolute best legendary loot. This is a massive opportunity. His breathing gets heavier as pure loot greed totally beats his logic. Heading down means crushing the quest and grabbing epic gear. Skipping it means he will totally regret it for his entire life. Gripping his spiked club super tightly, veins popping on his hand, he grits his teeth and bravely steps right down into the passage. The passage is pretty short, just stairs downward. Hitting the bottom step, the view absolutely blows his mind, totally stopping his breath. This isn't some boring storage closet. It is a massive, true secret underground lab. The space is unbelievably huge. The floors and walls rock a cold metallic sheen, smooth as a mirror, looking totally flawless and super mysterious right now. Strange, highly advanced gadgets line the entire room, stuff he couldn't even begin to name. Their glowing blue monitors actively flicker with totally confusing code. And right in the middle stands this ridiculously huge, cylindrical glass water tank. That epic tank is 5 meters tall, packed with strange, dark green liquid where countless tiny little bubbles just swirl and rise up. Floating quietly inside is a giant figure wrapped by dozens of thick tubes. It is a completely crazy humanoid beast, over 3 meters of pure muscle. It rocks a pale grayish-white tone, muscles bulging super monstrously. Its arms evolved into 2 giant bone blades, each well over 1.5 meters long. Those sharp edges eagerly gleam with the super dangerous light. Even crazier, there is a massive, super jagged hole in its chest. The core looks totally yanked out, even though its eyes are shut tight and the huge beast isn't moving an inch. Just feeling its crazy aura makes Roger's legs turn to jelly instantly, almost dropping him down to his knees. His brain just screams at him to run fast. What is this absolute massive unit? How does a boss this strong exist here? Is the system playing some kind of hilarious, totally wild cosmic joke? His muscles freeze, sweat soaking his back. Trust me, we are totally not ready for what happens next. Let's dive in. His urge to flee surges up, but he forcibly pushes it down. He notices the monster is completely still, like a specimen. It is lifeless. Roger feels his heart pound wildly, but intense ambition ultimately overpowers his deep fear. Turning his stiff neck away, he begins excitedly searching the lab. He quickly notices this giant hall seems to be only a tiny part of it. Behind the monster's container sits another massive door, but it is tightly sealed shut and simply cannot be opened. Roger decides to give up exploring deeper into the creepy research institute. Instead, he focuses on finding super valuable items. Here, grabbing enough epic loot to meet his extraction requirements. Moving so lightly on his tiptoes, he barely makes a sound. With every single careful step, his eyes nervously dart right back toward the terrifying monster in the green container. Soon, a shiny metal lab table in the center catches his eye. An open hardcover notebook sits right there. The Senshin 3rd Research Institute Laboratory T-Virus Project Log. Roger holds his breath, leans in closer, and quickly reads through the pages. The log's handwriting starts neat, but grows super frantic, showing the writer had a massive mental breakdown. The T-virus infectivity was way worse than they had ever expected. Standard quarantine measures completely failed. Senshin falling is now just a matter of time. Now watch closely. All hope rests on the gene optimization serum. It reshapes genes, theoretically granting perfect resistance to the virus. But the first-generation prototype is incredibly unstable. The massive failure rate sits right at 99%. It must be combined alongside the crucial neural stabilizer, or the user's brain gets overwhelmed by violent energy, mutating them into a relentless monster that only destroys. 100 times more terrifying than the infected wandering around outside. I placed the stabilizer in the cryo storage cabinet right nearby. The safe combination is my birthday, 0419. If you found this place, you must be from the Institute. If you make it out safely, I really hope you can deliver a message to my family. I always loved you. Please live well. Signed, Lawrence. However, Roger pays absolutely no attention to that emotional part. Instead, seeing the section about that gene optimization serum, his breathing instantly turns super heavy, his eyes blazing with an incredibly intense, wild light. The gene optimization serum and neural stabilizer are absolutely priceless, epic treasures. He quickly dashes to a small metal cabinet beside the table, the door clearly labeled as cryo storage. He yanks the door open. A sudden blast of icy white mist erupts. Deep inside the chilly cabinet, sure enough, sits a syringe filled with perfectly clear liquid. He excitedly snatches the syringe in his hand. A system notification immediately pops up. Item name Neural Stabilizer. Tier, Bronze. Effect. When using specific gene serums, it protects the central nervous system, which drastically reduces the dangerous mutation risk. Bronze tier. Roger is ecstatic. You and I both know this feeling. A notification reveals his extraction mission is finally complete, and the escape point is completely open. Done. Roger spins around and rushes toward another heavy-duty safe hidden in the corner. His trembling hands turn the cold metal combination dial. 0, 4, 1, 9. With a crisp click, it pops open. As the heavy door swings slowly open, a bright flash of ghostly blue light flickers. On the soft velvet base inside the safe, a magical syringe rests quietly. The liquid glows a dreamlike, ghostly blue, looking as if billions of crushed stars were sealed inside. Name: Gene Optimization Serum. First Gen Prototype. Tier: Shining Silver. Mutation Effect: forcibly reshapes the genetic sequence, massively increasing all stats, with an extremely low chance of beautifully awakening a truly special, legendary bloodline. Warning: this is an unstable prototype serum. Solo use has a 99.9% chance of collapsing genes, mutating the user into a wild, uncontrolled monster. Note: combining it with the neural stabilizer reduces the mutation risk to 10%. Silver tier. It is actually a silver tier item. Roger feels a huge rush of excitement surge straight to his head. This is his ultimate one-shot ticket straight to the top. Fingers trembling, he reaches out and desperately grabs for the syringe, glowing with that gorgeous, ghostly blue light. The exact instant his fingertips touch the cold glass tube. Warning: high-risk experimental sample has been removed. Security protocol activated. The whole lab is suddenly bathed in intense crimson light. A piercing alarm echoes loudly through the underground space, sounding shrill enough to nearly shatter his eardrums. Roger is completely shocked out of his mind by the sudden change. His eyes instinctively dart back toward that massive green container. The previously calm green solution begins boiling violently, with countless wild bubbles surging upward with loud gurgling. The 3-meter-tall beast suspended in the center, its eyes that stayed shut. The heavy eyelids suddenly seemed to twitch. Meanwhile, up on the mall's 3rd floor, I just finished stuffing a cool black iron remote control car right into my heavily bulging storage pack. Trust me, you'll want to see this. The remote car is epic, packing a built-in camera for awesome reconnaissance. Stick with me here. This 3rd floor hall is completely empty, holding absolutely zero valuable loot. My inventory pack is already maxed out anyway. Wood, stone, metal, food, plus 12 black iron items. But the true prizes? A Tier 2 safe house blueprint, and that sweet workbench module. The loot from this whole run is insane. There is simply no reason to search sketchy corners and gamble my safety for random scraps now. Time to bail. Just as I turn around toward that 1st floor extraction point, a ridiculously loud alarm suddenly starts shrieking from way off in the distance. It sounds pretty far away, blocked by several buildings, but I can easily tell this is not your average siren. I pause, listening. That noise is definitely coming from the far end of the street, right past the mall. An alarm means someone triggered a major hidden trap. Guess another survivor just stumbled onto something incredibly huge. The wild idea of running over to check it out flashes across my mind, but I instantly crush that thought into dust. The number 1 survival rule for any elite mercenary is super simple. Never let random curiosity drag you into an unpredictable disaster. My goals here are completely finished. All the epic materials in my bag will upgrade my safe house to a completely different level. Now pay attention. Jumping into that unknown mess means insane risks. And you and I both know surviving is better than blind gambling. I do not hesitate for another millisecond. I turn around, marching toward the exit. I quickly make my way down toward the Qingyang Road bus stop, absolutely refusing to waste any time before extraction. Meanwhile, right after that alarm went off, Roger is sprinting this way, desperately fleeing for his survival. That Qingyang Road bus stop is literally the only extraction point marked on my map. Arriving there, the entire area is total chaos. An overturned bus sits completely burned into a charred skeleton. with shattered glass and metal chunks everywhere. The huge station billboard is completely snapped and leaning sideways. The air reeks of thick burnt ash and a sickening stench that causes serious nausea. Lovely extraction spot. But two gross zombies are chilling right near the station, looking straight out of a horror movie. They wander aimlessly around the station, stumbling clumsily while letting out those classic wheezing groans. I waste zero energy, quietly stepping out from the dark street shadows with entirely silent footsteps. Pulling my desert eagle is bad. Gunshots make loud noise, bringing unwanted zombie attention. Instead, I grip the black iron jungle machete looted from that outdoor store, its blade shining faintly. I slowly approach the nearest walking corpse first. It seemingly catches my scent, slowly turning its ugly face, but my sharp blade is already swinging. Slash! The machete chops smoothly right through its rotting neck, sending the ugly head tumbling down. Instantly, I lower my overall center of gravity. Pushing off fiercely with my right foot, I launch straight forward. That second monster barely turns around before I'm right beside it. Blade goes up, blade comes down. Same exact spot, totally clean and sharp. You saw that too, right? Absolutely perfect movements. Start to finish, destroying both targets in under 3 seconds. Both headless bodies collapse heavily onto the pavement. A glowing white light slowly floats up from one of them. I walk over, reaching out to grab it. Score, obtained 1 tier 1 energy crystal. Lucky break. I safely store the crystal and walk right into the bus stop. A digital system panel automatically flashes right in front of my face. Extraction zone reached. Mission verification fully complete. Initiate extraction? Absolutely. I confirm it mentally, and the prompt immediately chimes in with the extraction countdown. 10, 9, 8. Warning. Taking any hits during extraction instantly interrupts the process. 10 seconds. I just stand quietly waiting at the bus stop, already planning my next moves back at the safe house. This mall instance hall was seriously massive. First priority upon returning is definitely upgrading into a tier to safe house. Before crafting that upgradable workbench, the basic arrow tower, and finally the laboratory. Doing that guarantees my base's defense, production, and survival utilities all receive a massive boost. Especially that sweet new workbench. With that bench, I can continuously craft essential gear, creating the perfect foundation for future progression. I still have some wood, stone, and metal packed, but it isn't quite enough to meet all those upgrade requirements. I will definitely need to visit the global trade market later for extra building materials. Regarding all my black iron equipment, I will keep 2 pieces equipped, tossing the rest straight into the Omni Cube to see what they synthesize into. Actually, trading them works too. Extraction countdown, 7, 6. Just then, an ear-piercing roar echoes. A monstrous roar abruptly explodes from way down the dark street. The terrifying volume actually makes my ears ring, instantly shattering all my base building thoughts. It's coming from that alarm's location, and trust me, when this Crimson System warning pops up, everything goes completely insane. Stick with me here. A massive hidden boss just woke up. System warning rings out. Taking this giant mutant down. Drops a silver tier boss chest. Wait, silver tier? My eyes go wide. A silver chest means insanely good loot. The temptation is huge, but I take a quick breath and keep my cool completely. Extraction countdown, 4. Just a few short seconds left. Fighting a hidden boss for 1 chest? The risk is way too high. I really do not like gambling with my survival. Plus, a silver tier drop means this absolute beast is a whole level stronger than the tyrant butcher we faced earlier. Even if I tried, winning is a huge maybe. That thought flashes by, and I don't even bother looking back. But suddenly, a crazy, violent rush of wind comes tearing in from the distance. I instinctively spin around, and right at the end of the street, a figure is stumbling and crawling, sprinting toward me with absolutely everything he has left, looking completely miserable. Wow, it is Roger. His face is pure terror, looking like his spirit completely left him. He is just running on pure instinct. Now watch closely. Behind him, a massive 3-meter tall figure is chasing him down, incredibly fast. It is a humanoid monster, entirely grayish-white, muscles bulging, and absolutely terrifying. Both its arms are transformed into massive bone blades over a meter long, gleaming with cold light. Craziest part, there is a massive, completely hollow hole right in its chest. This giant mutant moves like an absolute blur, and the gap between it and Roger is closing insanely fast. Roger sees me at the bus stop, and a spark of hope lights up his desperate eyes. "Save me," he yells with everything he has, his voice totally cracking. "Save me, I got a silver tier gene." His words suddenly cut off. Whoosh! A grayish-white blur violently flashes across him. The giant mutant's bone blade pierces straight through his back and right out his chest. His expression freezes completely. He slowly lowers his head, staring in pure disbelief at the pale bone blade jutting right out of his chest, completely coated in a terrible, messy crimson hue. The giant mutant lets out an impatient growl, then violently swings its massive bone blade arm. Roger gets flung straight off, flying through the air, and slamming directly toward my exact position. Extraction countdown, 3, 2. My body tenses instantly. I shift my footing slightly. The next second, Roger's fallen body crashes down less than half a meter in front of me, hot crimson splashing right across my pants. The body skids along the rough ground briefly before coming to rest at my feet. At that exact moment, a streak of ghostly blue light emerges from Roger. My heart leaps up. My eyes totally lock onto that glow. You and I both know what is coming. Extraction countdown, 1. After tossing Roger, the mutant's glowing red eyes lock onto the last survivor. It roars and explodes forward on all fours, its massive frame charging straight at me. That sharp bone blade from earlier is suddenly raised high up, slashing right down toward my head. But in that very instant, I move lightning fast. In the single second before the countdown hits 0, I drop low, reaching swiftly and precisely right into that ghostly blue light. My fingers grab something ice cold. I grab what is inside, 2 syringes, one clear, and the other glowing ghostly blue. There is absolutely no time to grab anything else. The instant my hand closes around them, the giant mutant's crimson-stained bone blade is already slashing down at my face. Extraction successful. A brilliant flash of white light. My body dissolves into countless points of light. 0.1 seconds before impact, the massive bone blade slams down on empty ground, carving a huge, deep crack. The white light totally swallows everything. The piercing roar and the smell of battle vanish in an instant. The entire world falls into complete silence. I am back in my tiny wooden cabin of less than 10 square meters. Wooden floorboards beneath my feet. The smell of rot and danger from the instance is gone, replaced by the fresh scent of wood. I am safe, but I never let my guard down. I immediately open my right hand. In my palm rest 2 cold syringes, one clear, the other holding that ghostly blue liquid. Looking super eerie inside the dim wooden cabin. Name, Gene Optimization Serum 1st Generation Prototype. Tier, Silver. Type, Special Mutation Serum. Effect, it forcibly reshapes the user's genetic sequence, granting massive, insane increases to all stats. However, being a 1st generation prototype, the serum is highly unstable. Solo use carries a 99.9% chance of genetic collapse, mutating the user into an unspeakable horror. Note, a mad attempt born of desperation. It is both hope and a total gamble. Second item name Neural Stabilizer. Tier, Bronze. Type, Support Serum. Effect, it effectively calms and completely stabilizes the user's overactive nervous system. When used with the 1st generation optimization serum, it reduces failure rate to 10%. Note, sanity is far more precious than power. So what do you and I make of this? Even with the stabilizer, a 10% failure rate still means betting everything on some crazy odds. Stick with me here, I'm gambling everything on a long shot. But the payoff? Absolutely massive. We're talking a legendary leap in pure power. maybe even enough to hit the next tier. Taking a deep breath, I totally calm down and carefully stash both serums deep inside my pack, keeping them super safe and completely separated. Now, definitely isn't the time to use them. I need 100% certainty, not leaving my fate up to random luck. Right after I clear my head, that system panel pops up again. Pale blue text scrolls wildly as loud system prompts just keep ringing out. Tier 1 instance, abandoned commercial street, is finished. Conducting final settlement now. Detected. Player Omni successfully extracted these epic items from the instance. 1 silver tier first generation gene optimization serum prototype. 1 bronze tier neural stabilizer, plus 1 bronze tier safehouse upgrade blueprint for tier 2. 1 bronze tier simple combustion furnace module, and 1 awesome black iron tier upgradable workbench module. An insanely long list of epic items finally stops scrolling. Total tally: 1 silver tier item, 4 bronze tier items, 1 special blueprint, 1 special module, 2 common modules, and 7 black iron tier items and materials. Item value assessment completely finished. Conducting overall player behavior evaluation. The glowing text on the panel pauses briefly. Combat evaluation: 3 tier 1 early zombies, plus 1 mid-phase boss, the Tyrant Butcher. Rating: a rank. This is totally what I expected since I just focused on scavenging. But then, that next line makes me raise an eyebrow. Exploration evaluation: successfully discovered and opened the hidden manager's safe. Then triggered and invaded that terrifying giant mutant hidden boss. Rating: S rank. Wait, S rank? Just discovering and dodging it earned an S rank evaluation? Now watch closely. My heart practically stops when a wildly different prompt suddenly flashes on screen. Special contribution evaluation. Right before instance closure, successfully extracted critical hidden items from the boss area. The first generation gene optimization serum prototype, and the neural stabilizer. Rating: triple S rank. The progress bar completely fills up, and with a loud chime, massive text lights up the center of the panel, glowing so bright, it's blinding. Congratulations, player Omni. Your final rating for this epic instance is triple S rank. Triple S, the absolute highest theoretical rating in the universal survival system. Since player Omni has achieved the very first triple S rank here, this glorious achievement will be announced across the entire regional channel. Begin announcement. A public announcement too? I'm stunned for a second, but quickly recover. Doesn't seem like I can refuse this. And honestly, not worried about going public anyway. Fine, let's make it public. Hiding just isn't my style at all. Confirm. The thought locks in. Almost instantly, in region 10086, everyone hears a special notification. A pinned message pops up. Regional channel announcement is pinned. Huge congratulations to player Omni, who in the tier 1 instance, abandoned commercial street, through pure genius and crazy courage, achieved a perfect triple S rank evaluation, becoming the first player here to earn this honor. Rewards incoming. The announcement explodes through the channel like a massive bomb. Holy crap, am I seeing things right? A triple S rank? Is the system glitching? It's only been 1 single day. Someone already cleared an instance with the triple S evaluation? Omni, oh my god, who's this absolute legend? I'm willing to follow you. This is absolutely a god tier player right here. While others are still risking their lives for bread, this guy is already farming god tier evaluations. I just barely survived. New City Commercial Plaza. Got a C rating, and my only reward was a single tier 1 instance key. Can you believe this crazy gap between players? Everyone is desperately asking what our legend even did inside, and how much loot he collected to earn that insane rating. My guess is he must have triggered some insanely rare hidden condition. Veterans who cleared instances before say evaluation is based on both kills and resources. But honestly, all this regional channel chatter just doesn't concern me. My attention is entirely focused on my own rewards. Detected. You have earned the first triple S rank evaluation in this region. Rewards are doubled. Triple S special reward being distributed now. Congratulations. You've received one extremely special reward. Selection opportunity. Please choose two of these three rewards. Three options appear on the panel. Option 1 gives you one Tier 2 instance key. Option 2 provides 3 Tier 1 instance keys. Option 3, one special instance key for Shenzhen Third Research Institute. 3 options. Choose 2. My eyes quickly scan across them, my brain working at absolute top speed. Option 2, 3 Tier 1 keys. The absolute safest bet for 3 more scavenging runs. What do we think? It's the same level as before, so those monsters inside definitely won't exceed Tier 1. Let's dive in. You and I both know that giant mutant from the last instance was a huge warning. He barely looks at it for a second before totally rejecting it. Playing it safe is just a slow game over. In this crazy world, standing still means falling behind. Moving slow gets you eliminated. He needs explosive growth to stay miles ahead of the pack. Plus, he can craft those low-tier items himself anyway. So it all comes down to options 1 and 3. A Tier 2 instance is the ultimate fast track to power. Tougher challenges, way better rewards. Clearing it means another massive strength boost. Then there is option 3, special instance key, Shenzhen Third Research Institute. His eyes narrow slightly, his confident expression shifting for the first time. This option is just incredibly unusual. Based on the system prompt, it seems to have unlocked just because he grabbed those 2 special serums and discovered that secret hidden area. The manager office, where he uncovered the secret intel. From what he saw earlier, the instance is located in a city named Shenzhen, and inside that place, a massive virus outbreak happened. Honestly looking just like a zombie virus. Those infected wandering the streets and those 2 giant monsters totally prove it. Who knows why the manager never transformed? But this choice clearly shows the wild possibilities waiting inside. Better resources, limitless potential. Those 2 serums alone make that totally obvious. The choice is clear. His eyes lock onto the panel, falling deep into thought. Now watch this with me. He pushes distractions aside. 3 Tier 1 keys are stable, but ordinary. For players still struggling with basic survival, this might be a life-changing reward. But for him, it is the absolute worst choice. It would only drag him into a slow decline. What he needs is overwhelming growth, leaving everyone else far behind. 3 Tier 1 keys clearly cannot do that. He ignores the second option without feeling any reluctance. So that leaves one random Tier 2 instance key, and one very special instance key called Shenzhen Third Research Institute. One is a standard upgrade path, the other a crazy special opportunity carrying massive risks. A Tier 2 instance has higher level monsters and seriously dangerous environments, but the rewards in materials and equipment quality are way higher. As for the name Shenzhen Third Research Institute, it is seductive on its own. It links with the gene optimization serum, the neural stabilizer, and the giant mutant. All these clues point straight to the epicenter of the virus outbreak. There must be special rewards there that normal instances cannot offer. An ordinary player might hesitate, nervously weighing the risks. But our guy thinks differently. His core rule is turning every possible advantage he can grasp into pure power. That is the only way to get strong once, and stay strong forever. He is already stuck in this brutal survival world. And considering how the system constantly forces players into instances, plus that terrifying future purgatory battlefield, the message is perfectly clear. Refusing to fight means total failure. There is no need to choose. His fingers slide across the glowing virtual panel, instantly tapping options 1 and 3. He chooses 1 and 3. Selection confirmed. Congratulations, player Omni. You have received one Tier 2 instance key, and one special instance key for the Shenzhen Third Research Institute. Can you believe this? Light flashes, and 2 keys with completely different textures appear out of thin air. One is bronze, engraved with wild patterns, and the number 2 in the center radiates intense pressure. The other is silvery white, twisted like a distorted number 3, with a ghostly light flowing across the surface. He closes both keys tightly in his palm, feeling the icy metal. Without another glance, he tosses them, along with the 2 special serums, into the deepest part of his storage pack. That gene optimization serum is his crucial future trump card. But right now, a 10% failure rate is a huge risk. He needs to lower that rate before he will ever use it. As for how, he already has some clever ideas. With all that finally done, his tense nerves relax slightly. He begins taking stock of everything he gained. His mind checks the pack, and the entire inventory surfaces right in his head. Tier 2 Safehouse Upgrade Blueprint, the upgradable workbench module, the basic arrow tower module, and the lavatory module, the simple combustion furnace module blueprint, the mutated butcher sinew, plus over a dozen black iron items he totally scavenged from that mall. Average quality, but lots of them. A huge stock of food and water, enough to last him half a month easily. Finally, the basic materials: 230 wood, 170 stone, 30 metal. Any other player seeing this list would be super green with envy, but his expression stays calm. He takes out the Tier 2 Safehouse Upgrade Blueprint and taps Use immediately. Blueprint used. Tier 2 Safehouse Upgrade requirements are successfully unlocked. Please review at your discretion. The notification arrives, so let's check this panel together. Safehouse Omni Cabin, Tier 1 Black Iron Tier. Durability 100 out of 100. Defense 5, 0 energy reserve. Please install an energy module first. 0 out of 0. Upgrade modules need a lot. Wood, 230 of 600. Stone 170 of 300. Metal 30. Tier 1 crystals 6 of 10. Stick with me here. This material gap is huge. The 2 packs I found only covered a tiny fraction of the requirements. Plus, the Safehouse upgrade is not the only thing needing materials. I keep scrolling down. An upgradable workbench needs 50% metal. Basic arrow towers require 200 wood, 100 stone, 20% metal. Building a lavatory needs 50 wood, 20 stone, 10 metal. Reading through this, the final conclusion is very clear. My current materials do not even cover a tiny fraction of the Safehouse upgrade. Even a basic workbench is impossible because I am 20 metal units short. But honestly, that does not matter at all. I found plenty of other resources. Materials are low, but I can totally trade. The trade market is currently the only platform for exchanging items fast. It has only been one single day since everyone crossed over, and the vast majority of players are still risking everything just for basic bread or clean water. These basic survival items are the absolute hard currency here, while basic building materials like wood, stone, and metal are equally in massive demand. For gear, the black iron tier is probably the absolute highest grade anyone can even access right now. Meanwhile, I hold the Omni Cube, boasting synthesis powers far beyond anyone else in this era. A brilliant plan suddenly forms. The black iron junk I see as useless synthesis material? To every other struggling player out there, those exact items are completely life-saving. Magical treasures. Watch closely. This exact awareness gap is where we make absolute bank. I can take this junk, upgrade it through the Omni Cube into gear with crazy stats, and trade it all away for huge piles of those basic building materials. I might even be able to completely monopolize an entire category of equipment. Just thinking about this makes a confident smile appear. I have already found the path to massive riches. I quickly check the dozen black iron items sitting inside my pack again. Trekker's boots, steel axe, plate armor, jungle machete. Perfect. This is the starting capital I will use to completely dominate our regional market. Without any hesitation, I open the trade market to check the current economy. The digital panel unfolds, and countless new listings flood in. The first thing I spot is a pinned post screaming, "Urgent, urgent, urgent." Trading 1 metal unit for 3 bread loaves or 1 water bottle. Then, the market panel unfolds further, flashing a massive flood of immediate information. The top thing visible is that pinned trade post. Urgent, urgent, and urgent. Trading 1 unit of metal for 3 loaves of bread or a water bottle. The poster is Lone Prairie Wolf, his avatar showing a huge muscular guy holding a clenched fist. Posted just 10 minutes ago. It already has over a dozen replies underneath. Someone says, "Hey brother, I have got some bread. How do we trade?" You searched an instance and found absolutely no food. You must be lying. The guy above clearly knows nothing. He probably hit a mining instance, meaning he has to trade for food. Stop guessing around. Trade now, first 10 only. Let us pause for a second. Looking at this post, you and I can see it matches exactly what I guessed. There are so many types of instances, not just urban ones. This guy got a mining zone. He gathered tons of materials, but unfortunately, that means zero food supplies. That is completely different from my current situation. I collected plenty of awesome equipment and items, but my basic materials ended up being super limited. We are totally complementary. Besides his post, most others are completely absurd. Please, can anyone out there just spare me some food? If this keeps up, I am literally going to starve completely. Most of the rest are players who never dare enter instances, just sitting around waiting for their starting supplies to completely run out and finally lose. Either way, it shows the brutal reality for players at this stage. Survival is absolutely the first priority. I study it for a while longer, finding the trade market is clearly split into two main sections. On the left is the buy order section where players can post items they desperately need and what they will pay, just waiting for others to respond, like that previous post. On the right is the listing section. Here, players directly list their own items with set prices, just waiting around for buyers to purchase them. The system handles transactions automatically, saving everyone the hassle of communication, but it takes a 1% fee. I quickly open the listing section first. Inside, there is a massive variety, but quality varies. Item: half a mineral water bottle. Price: 5 wood or 3 stone. Stock: 1. Next item: 1 piece of moldy bread. Price: 3 wood. Stock: 1. Next item: a black iron crude stone axe. Price: 5 otherworld energy crystals. So what do you and I make of this? Most are just basic tools, but food and water prices are being driven completely sky high. Clearly, tons of players are absolutely terrified to enter instances. They just hide in safe houses, completely burning through their stockpiles. Let us dive into this madness together. Makes perfect sense. Though I already cleared an instance, we literally crossed into this wild world yesterday. Charging 5 tier 1 energy crystals for a basic stone axe? That is completely absurd. Energy crystals are absolutely vital materials for upgrading to a tier 2 safe house. Yet someone is actually willing to drop them on a busted axe. Regardless, this proves the market is total chaos. Information is super unequal right now, which is my absolute perfect golden opportunity. I immediately close the listing section and pop open the buy orders instead. These posts cover literally everything. Buying clean water, paying any price, dying of intense thirst. I have way too much wood. Trading for stone or metal. The ratio is negotiable. I scroll past the desperate players hunting for useful information. Suddenly, a bolded pinned post grabs my attention. Paying premium for black iron tier or better armor. Must have solid defense and great effects. I have huge quantities of basic materials. Price negotiable. Interested parties message me directly. The user ID is Mythic Aries. That ID alone screams pure boldness and epic confidence. His buying requirements are crazy specific, demanding good effects. This means he has definitely seen black iron equipment before and completely understands the whole complex stat system. Now pay attention here. This guy claims to have massive quantities of basic materials. Seeing this, my brain goes into overdrive. Is not this the absolute perfect trade partner I need? A total whale player with endless basic materials, completely desperate for combat power. But I definitely do not contact this guy right away. Instead, I turn and grab the damaged plate armor I scored after defeating Walter. Equipment: damaged plate armor. Tier: black iron. Durability: 15 out of 50. Effect: damage reduction. Above 30 durability, it perfectly negates 10% of incoming attacks. The effect is solid, but it is heavily damaged and looks totally ragged, barely marketable. But that is no problem for me. With one thought, the Omni Cube panel unfolds right here. The cube remains tier 1 with 2 synthesis slots. I drop the damaged plate armor into the very first slot. After thinking, I decide against wasting any precious collected black iron items. Instead, I pop open a material pack and pull out 5 solid units of metal. Metal times 10. Without any hesitation, I drop 10 metal ingots into the second synthesis slot. Synthesis recipe fully confirmed. Damaged plate armor, black iron tier times 1, plus 10 metal. Expected output, repaired plate armor, shiny black iron tier. Begin synthesis? Let's go. I confirm silently. The cube starts spinning, a soft glowing aura enveloping both items. Synthesis in progress. Estimated time, 5 minutes. Consume 1 tier 1 energy crystal to dramatically accelerate. This? You and I can handle 5 minutes, right? I select no. While quietly waiting, I keep studying the crazy trade market. My material gap is absolutely enormous right now. Upgrading the safe house, building the workbench, basic arrow tower, and lavatory modules requires seriously massive materials. I absolutely must use this trade to score enough materials for the safe house's very first major, epic upgrade. 5 minutes fly by. Synthesis perfectly successful. The light completely fades. Resting in the synthesis slot is brand new plate armor, gleaming brightly with a cold, metallic light. Its lines are super smooth and powerful. I grab it. Sturdy plate armor, black iron tier. Type, basic equipment armor. Durability, 100 out of 100. Effect, sturdy. Slightly boosts blunt damage resistance. The repaired armor's effect totally changed to sturdy. Hard to say which effect wins, but its durability just spiked to 100. Overall, transformed utter junk into something beautifully brand new with just 10 metal units. This is the insane power of the Omni Cube. With just basic materials, I can synthesize higher tier items and sell them at massively multiplied value. I open the buy orders, find Mythic Ares, and click message. 0 small talk. I send a quick screenshot of the sturdy plate armor stats directly. The absolute second that screenshot sends, the guy replies shockingly fast. Mythic Ares says, brother, I will buy this armor. Name your price. My fingers. Tap the virtual keyboard. Wood, 600. Stone, 300. Metal, 300. This price is exactly what I need for the tier 2 safe house upgrade. I'm totally testing his limits. After sending that message, he goes completely silent for a full half minute. Just as I think the price scared him off, and prepare to drop my offer, a brand new message suddenly pops up. He agrees, but wants to test it. Stay with me.